Hello and welcome to the Footy Times. We are back with another video. So I know it's been a while. We last did some videos during the Euros. We unfortunately couldn't do one after the end of the Euros. We did want to, but in the interest of time, or we all got a little bit busy. But yeah, I think now it's the transfer season. The Premier League is going to start in a couple of weeks. So we thought, why not start with something that's very relevant right now with center backs are all of a sudden there just seem to be too many around. Like I know there was a time where it was so hard to find quality center backs because the requirements of a modern center back are so many. Like you need to be good on the ball, you need to be good one-on-one, you need to be good aerially, you need to be you almost started thinking that you can only manufacture one in a lab, or you had to be Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like there's suddenly a whole host of centre backs out there, and obviously this is coming off the back of Liverpool signing Konate and Man United signing Varane, which both have been hailed as great signings. And there is more in the works. Koundé to Chelsea seems to be gathering pace, and a few others. So we thought, why not? We just throw over the discussion and talk about who we think will be the best centre back pairing in the league for the coming season. We're going to make some assumptions here on which centre backs teams will be signing. We will focus more on the so-called big six, but then we will probably throw special mentions to any other who we think ought to be mentioned in this conversation. So I think without further ado, let's start with the champions. You've not signed a centre back, Yash, but I think it's common consent that Stones and Diaz was probably the best centre back pairing in the league last season. Diaz even won the Player of the Year. So, what do you reckon with some of the signings that's been made with Van Dijk coming back? Do you think that is still the best centre back pairing, or even is that still the best centre back pairing for City? Because I know I have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, so I think as far as I think I would believe that I will not say that maybe once Van Dijk is back, I think Van Dijk along with Konate. But as far as I think Van Dijk and Matip go, I think they could come back as a number one. But I think for this City team, I think it will be rotating. It will be like a rotation that Pep likes to do. I think Stones and Diaz might be the starting pair anyways for this season. And then based on how well they carry forward with the last season's form, Laporte may or may not get the games. And there are actually even rumors that he wants to be out because he wants to play, I think, in Spain and maybe become Spain national team's captain going forward. So if if Stones and Diaz continue with their last season's form, I think they will still be the number one pairing for Pep. And Laporte will just come in, like, just make some appearances as we have so many games. And I don't know. So see, the thing is, like for Stones, last season was out of nowhere. We didn't expect that he will even play all the games, and out of nowhere he just came to the scene, and then he just never left. And even Diaz surprisingly started off like really well. He just adjusted to the life in PL, like he was playing there for years. So I would just hope that they both continue that same way. But chances are that one of them might have a okayish season. So then I think we will need Laporte. But I think for as far as the best pairing in the current form goes, I think Stones and Diaz will keep that place.
Yeah. As in with Diaz, as in again, I think we discussed this before. Like it's all about centre back partnerships. But when I looked at Diaz in the Portugal team, he was average. He didn't do anything special. Stones also had like Maguire on his side in England. And yeah, it's probably their partnership that clicks. But if you look at them individually, they don't
I
seem to
think
be
it's
as
also
imposing as like probably like a Van
I
Dijk.
think
or,
it's also about the style of the game, right? In
Fair enough.
Pep's team, I think everyone likes to pass around. Everyone is, quick, constantly changing positions. So yeah, it's the chemistry of the two together.
Mhm.
Plus, it's the way City play. So I think for now, I will just go with Stones and Diaz as a starting centre back pairing in the next
Yeah.
season.
Somehow, I don't know. I've just never been convinced by Stones. Even like, I know he made a Champions League final and a final of the Euros, but it just feels like, I mean, everybody thought on paper Diaz and Laporte it just seems like the perfect partnership. Right sided, left sided.
Yeah.
Diaz is more an old school defender who's very aggressive. Laporte is more of, the Rolls Royce type of centre back who likes to play with the ball and who's really good at bringing the ball out. His reading of the game is great. He's good. Aerially he's good as well. So, but
So I
yeah,
think one thing I liked about Stones last year was that he was able to keep fit. That was for sure. And the second thing was like he was not physically getting bullied like previous seasons. So I don't know if he has added that to his armor now, like his game, where he doesn't get bullied that easily now. And I think that maybe made him the better or consistent performer last year.
Hey,
Yeah.
quick question for you guys. In terms of Man City, I know we're talking about Diaz and Laporte as opposed to Diaz and Stones. Where does Diaz play when in that partnership? Does he play on the right or left for the Laporte versus Stones? Because that matters, right?
left.
So I think Diaz plays on the left.
He plays
And
on the left for
Stones,
both.
yeah.
But
yeah.
when Laporte's playing, he's a left-sided player, right? So
Correct.
wouldn't he be play on the left?
No. I think when
No,
Laporte
no,
plays, he
sorry.
plays on the right.
Right.
Right?
When Laporte plays, he's on the right.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
it seems it's becoming more and more inherent that a center back has a preferred position to play in. Previously in the past, it used to that used to not be valued as much. But like for example, Maguire prefers to play on the left side where he can actually be playing with Luke Shaw, passing the ball to Luke Shaw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in that case, I don't know if that makes a huge difference as well for
So-
the whole Diaz Laporte as
So
opposed
I
to Diaz and
think
Stones.
we had signed Diaz as Stones' replacement last year,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
Diaz and Laporte were supposed to be the two center backs to play all the games. But then considering how well Stones started, and then Laporte was also kind of he was coming back from an injury, and he showed some signs that he's still not at his best. So
Gotcha.
maybe that's when Pep switched Diaz over to the left and Stones on the right.
Yeah, I think we should move on.
Yep.
But yeah, I think like we said, it just made sense that Diaz seems to be one of those who can play like either position. Like I said, he seems more old school. It is not so. He seems quite versatile in that sense. And yeah, that does count as versatile nowadays, like you said, because it is a thing now, left-sided or right-sided.
Left side or right side.
But yeah, I think moving on, let's just do the table order then. If that's how we're doing table of last season, right? So okay, Manchester United, finally the Magaluf combination has been broken.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure you
been
guys are
broken.
excited.
The curse has been broken.
Yeah, and
The-
it just seems like a bargain deal to me. I mean, like Varane, he's an elite centre back. He's won everything. Yeah, I mean, you guys must be really excited.
There's two sides of the coin. I mean, as if you speak to the most ardent United fan, they'll be like over the moon. They'll be like, you know what, we're getting such a huge bargain, like you mentioned, for what 34 million, rising up to 42 million to get a centre back for 20, who's just 28, and has won so much. He's one of the decorated defenders in the game. But here's my question: how much of his whatever his accolades have been because of the fact that he played with the Sergio Ramos?
That I don't believe that bullshit at all.
No, I'm just
No.
throwing out.
No, actually, I think
you
no,
cannot
no,
you cannot
be
win
one
so
thing.
much.
The other thing,
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, go ahead. Complete your point.
the the other couple other things I wanted to talk about was the last 2 seasons. I've seen clips of Varane where he's made some really shocking errors, which kind of, I know I'm excited for Varane coming and everything, but that still keeps me a little anxious as to, is he? I mean, also the fact that can he strike a good partnership with Maguire? As you can tell, I mean, Lindelof on his own, he seems to be doing okay, but when you put them together, it doesn't obviously work. So the chemistry is something I'm a little bit more. I mean, I just, time will tell when they start playing together. I do think that the fact that Varane coming in offers a lot of pace. It means that we don't need to play too defensive minded, two sixes essentially. So that's
High
which
line.
could help benefit our game further, like in the attacking sense. So that's one couple. I mean, those are some of the things I was thinking about in terms of. But like I said, Varane coming in for 34 million. I think United have done phenomenal in the market so far to nab this guy. I mean, for the same price that Liverpool got Konate, was a huge, and then obviously Arsenal getting Ben White for 50 million. But this was a steal.
Yeah, on the face of it, yeah. You have anything to add, Nisar?
Yeah, as in for me, like I'm actually pretty confident that this is like since Alex Ferguson, I think this pretty much like since Rio Ferdinand and Vidic, this probably is the best partnership we have. Given the confidence that Maguire comes in with, like the Euros and how he ended the last season. We all saw how much we missed him in the few games he was injured out. And Varane brings space. As in, I've heard this argument about Ramos, but Varane won the World Cup when he was playing next to Umtiti. So
He was also very good then, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's
Umtiti
gone
was
downhill
pretty
since,
good.
but
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
as in, I feel
that's
that
true.
like the amount of titles he has won, you cannot be carried by another centre back for this long, as in especially in a team like Real Madrid. So I don't really buy that argument. The one thing I'm apprehensive of is the fact that he has not played Premier League,
Yep.
and that is true for any player who comes into the Premier League. It's a different ball game. All of us know it's a different ball game.
But Nisarg,
yeah.
I had one point. So I think Ramos left, right? Ramos
Yeah.
signed with PSG, and even in that situation, Madrid were okay with letting Varane go. So I'm just
I think that
thinking that
might be
why
more
would
financially driven
Yeah,
because he would probably have gone for a free next year.
he would have
I
left.
know,
Why would you do that?
Oh, he was going
Because
for free next season.
it was his
Yeah.
last
One
year
year
in the
left on his
contract.
contract.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that makes better
Yeah,
sense. Okay.
I think they have some issue. Yeah, I think they couldn't agree on a new contract for him. I did think that as well. I mean, they just gave Alaba a bumper contract, so it didn't make so much sense letting Varane go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some financial motivations there. It's a bit murky. I'm not entirely clear on. It does seem a bit silly.
And I think it was more like at least coming like the news coming out is a lot of it was driven by Varane, as he just said that like I am not going to sign a new contract. So if you like, it doesn't matter. Like I either go for a free next year or you let me go for some money right now.
Yeah, it's a bit like us signing Thiago.
Rumor has it.
Yeah,
but I do remember.
I was going to say that rumor has it that Real Madrid tried using Varane in as bait or an exchange to get Mbappe, which didn't really go down well with Varane as well. So I don't know how far it's true, but that was one of the also the lack of respect. So.
Yeah.
But just one point I was trying to make is that I think last year or the year before that, actually last year, Varane was kind of bullied by Jesus. Basically, not just saying Jesus, but I think in a high press game.
I remember
that
game.
would be something.
That
would be something that we will have to be very. That would be very exciting to see.
Yeah.
From a Man City perspective.
Yeah, as in one good thing for me is like, given the price of the deal, right? I feel at least he would not suffer the same price tag pressure as what Maguire did, because it
True.
like how much ever you try to say it doesn't influence, it does have a pretty big impact. As in, at one point, like most of the United fans were, Maguire is only playing because he was 80 million. Otherwise, he would not even be playing.
True.
So that is one thing, that at least that pressure is not on him. And he's, I think he definitely brings stability and that winner's mentality, which I think is much needed in this United team. Quite a lot of players have not won a lot of things. So, and that feeling is kind of alien. So I think more players you bring who have won stuff, it does bring that mentality. So I'm definitely excited for this partnership.
Just one
And I
last
was
point.
surprised it was, yeah. And one last point. I was just surprised at the speed at which it happened. As like,
not very United like that.
Yeah, exactly. So
recent past.
positive signs everywhere.
Yeah. Just one point I wanted to add was, look, on paper, like I was saying with Laporte and Diaz, this just seems like the perfect partnership because they complement each other. There's something that you guys mentioned a lot last season, that like Maguire and Lindelof just do not complement each other, which I think Varane and Maguire do perfectly. Like Varane has the pace, he's got the aggression, and Maguire can be, his pace, lack of pace won't be exposed, and like you said, he brings a winning mentality, and it just seems like a great duo. Both are coming. Maguire's quite confident as well. But the only thing, it doesn't seem like there's any drawbacks to this. Just as a Liverpool fan, I have to find something negative about it. But I would just say that I just feels like Varane has probably he's played a lot of football, right? He's been playing at a top level for a very long time. So even though he's 28, I feel like maybe he's not exactly past his prime, but there is a possibility he might be coming towards the end of it because he's got a lot of miles in his legs in general, given how long he has been playing at the top level. So that's something which it'll be interesting to see if he's still the same player. Like if you had signed him 3 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, that's it. I mean, there were rumors of, I think Jose wanted him. They were being quoted like 100 million. He was one of the best centre backs in the world at that point. I don't know if he's the same player today, but obviously we'll find out next season. I still think he's a very, very, very good centre back, and it's not good news for the rest of the league. Definitely not for Liverpool.
And with Luke Shaw in his form, so the defense is looking pretty solid. I just hope that we can relive those days of like Old Trafford being a fortress. It's been such an alien feeling for these years after like Vidic and Ferdinand left. Because I think I started like watching football just around that time, and I was like, like clean sheets is a given. Like you just have one of Vidic or Ferdinand in your team, you just get 6 points every week in your FPL teams. So that was how it went pretty much.
The only thing I can say is in Ole we trust. I'm sure Yash will agree with that sentiment. Okay, I think we should move on. So going on to Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, this is like the one area of the team where I feel really confident, because I know, I mean, the other areas there is, if not problems now, there might be in the future, given the contracts that are expiring and, like the lack of depth that we've already addressed last season. But the centre backs that we have right now, honestly, I feel like it's probably the best set of centre backs in Europe, because basically, I know everybody's talking about Konate, but for me, Van Dijk and Matip is still the best partnership in the league, or one of the best in Europe. Because I think this is the thing about Matip, right? Not too many people know, and I get it, because he just doesn't play. You just don't get to see him. But Matip is actually a world-class centre-back. He's got absolutely everything to his game, apart from the ability to stay fit. Like he is almost as good as Van Dijk. That's how good this guy is. It's just that he doesn't show it enough. And he is a Champions League and Premier League winning, and this partnership is a Champions League and Premier League winning centre-back duo. Like nobody else has done that. Which other centre-back duo or trio in the league has won both? They won one or the other, but not both. But or even Gomez, for that matter.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, isn't Gomez supposed to be the ideal partner of Van Dijk prior to even Konate coming in?
You could say he has some skills which not complement, because Van Dijk has everything, but he's quick, and his recovery pace is something that helps us a lot. But just in terms of all-round ability and know-how and experience, I think Matip and Van Dijk for me is the best partnership.
As in,
And yeah,
one point on that, Avinash. I think, like as you mentioned, like Van Dijk is like not the one who needs complimenting by another defender, but I feel that Joe Gomez was a pretty big contributor to Alexander Arnold or Robertson doing the things they do very well, because the recovery pace that Gomez had pretty much covered for the lack of like tracking back for TA, which I'm not sure whether Matip can do. As in, I've never seen him be fast, to be honest.
He's not quick like Gomez, but he's fast enough. Let me put it like that. And his reading of the game is so good that, when you're
you don't
really
need
good center back, you don't need
you
but
don't
he's
need
not
to be
slow.
fast.
Yeah, he's definitely not slow by any stretch of imagination. So yeah, it's just based on what we've seen. Like, I know it's hard for somebody else because you've just not seen Matip enough, but I've seen him week in, week out, and I know how good this guy is. And he also provides an aerial threat in the opposition box, which is another point, which I know is not necessarily what primary thing you'd expect from a centre back, but that's something when you have a dual threat of Van Dijk and Matip, I think it makes a big difference in terms of set pieces and scoring goals. And yeah, so you basically have, for me, two elite world-class centre-backs, and behind that, you probably have two of the most exciting young centre-backs in Europe in Gomez and Konate. We've not even spoken about Konate. I mean, I know Sheldon's been waxing lyrical for a while. He wanted him at Man United. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely one. He's the only thing I'd say is none of these four played for even like 30% of the season last season. That's the only thing. Like, two of them are coming off pretty much season-long injuries.
Van Dijk was an anomaly, right? Like true. And it was not a fatigue injury. It was
he's not injury prone, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But is the injury that he has sustained, is that going to lead to a recurring injury?
Yeah, I think that's definitely always a question mark, after an injury like that. But I mean, Matip, we know, is made of glass. He's not going to play much. That's the problem. Like, for all the.
How old is Matip?
He's also 30. Van Dijk and Matip are both 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Gomez, again, coming off a bad injury. I mean, that guy has such bad luck. He's also not what I call injury prone, but he picks up such bad injuries.
Yeah.
It's like every season he's had 3 massive injuries already. And he's such a short career. So I think that's the thing. It's really difficult when you have so many injuries to come back. But looks like, from what we are hearing, they're responding well, they're training well, they're, getting up to speed. So fingers crossed on that. And Konate, I mean, I think none of us have watched him that much, although we watched bits in the Champions League, and we know he's an extremely talented centre back. I mean, I know Ralf Rangnick has gone on record to say that he's actually better than Upamecano.
Yeah, I think so.
Upamecano was the guy who's everybody is talking about, but Konate probably because he didn't play enough. Again, he has had a couple of big injuries, which have, again, he's not injury prone, but he's had a couple of big injuries which have resulted in smaller niggling injuries. So that's something which we have to hope that, it's just that he was growing into his body maybe, and that's something that will go away.
I personally feel that knee injuries are some of the worst injuries for, such players, because they can come back with, they are not the same players anymore. Like, for example, Sané, I feel that Sané has lost a lot of his game due to that one injury he had. But we can move on.
Attackers, it's harder because, they have to perform much more high intensity moves, sort of changes in direction and all that. But no, I think that's true. Knee injuries are hard to come back from because you don't know what the knock-on effects can be. So
next.
I mean, that's personally, I think we have the best centre back pairing if fit in the league. But obviously, you can have your own opinion.
I would say more than best centre back pairing, I think you guys have a good, great backups, which I don't think any of the other teams have to offer, right? So
I feel it's the case of both. Unless we have anything more to add, so we can move on to Chelsea, the European champions, who don't play a back two. I mean, like a centre back pairing. But I know that Sheldon, you wanted to talk about it more in terms of a back three. But for me, I mean, we can talk about both, but I want to talk about it more in terms of if we were to pick. Like, I feel like they did great winning the Champions League, but to truly win the league in this day and age, I just feel like you need to be a very, very dominant team. You need to play in the opposition half. You need to press the ball. You need to keep the ball all the time. You need to play a high line. And I'm not sure a back three lends itself well to that, because we did see in the league that Chelsea did stutter at times.
Yeah.
They weren't as consistent. Like they kept things really tight, but they didn't really have the same edge going forward. And that balance is really hard to strike. And you pretty much have to be like a possession-oriented team to, win the league with the standards that City and Liverpool have set. So yeah, we can talk about it, however, but for me, with Koundé, assuming that Koundé goes through, I would say Koundé and Silva provide probably the best partnership if as I think that he has to go to a back four if he wants to win the league. Because you have Silva who's experienced, who can play with the ball, who's got pretty much everything, apart from the fact that he's a bit old, but Koundé will provide that mobility and that pace alongside him to cover for that a little bit. So in my eyes, that's the perfect pairing. But obviously, I don't know what you guys think. There's also other defenders in the mix.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, if you have.
So as in for me, I think Koundé is also fairly versatile, right? As in I've seen him play right back as well.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And he is kind of like a perfect signing for Chelsea, because like even if they play back three or back two, and in any case, I think he'll still be there. Silva, I think back three probably is still the way to go for Chelsea, because I think Silva needs a lot of covering. As in, he has the right the mental side of the game pretty well covered, but you always see there being a mistake in his game. So probably I still feel that at least in the start of the season, Chelsea will stick to a back three, and probably it would be Silva, Koundé, and rotation between whatever Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta. I think any of them, dependent on how things, because Tuchel also likes to do that roulette thing. Like there's not a lot of consistency week in, week out in the team he picks. So I feel that the third position is we'll just rotate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, I feel that. I was going to say that actually, I would think that Chelsea would kind of favor the three at the back, just because they've been very successful towards the later half of the season, where they conceded, I think, one of the less number of goals compared to all the other teams in the leagues. Now, here's the thing. It comes down to what Tuchel wants to do. Like, does he want to play his brand of football, or does he want to continue with the resources he has at? The thing about Tuchel, I've realized, is that he favors a 4-4-3. So obviously that means you would play only two at the back. 4 at the back.
4-3-3.
Sorry, 4-3-3. That's what I meant. So, which means that you would have to play Koundé and then either of whatever the innumerable number of centre backs he has at his disposal. But but I also agree with Nisarg in the sense that Thiago Silva, he is prone to making a lot of these unusual mistakes every now and then. So I don't know if he and Koundé would probably be the best. Here's the other thing. I know Koundé is one of those defenders who's actually great in the air despite being only 5'10". But then again, you are playing in the Premier League, which is a different ball game altogether. So how much of that is going to hamper his progress in the PL, or is that going to be challenging? Are they going to be against the lower teams? Are they going to be conceding a lot of free kicks? Are they or conceding a lot of set piece goals for that matter? So those are some of the things I feel that needs to be that Tuchel will probably have to consider when deciding his formation. But then what the one good thing is that he has options, which is good when you're playing different oppositions. So that's
he does like to change systems as well. Not so much systems, but at least personnel. I think he's shown that he's prone to a lot of rotation. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of their options don't lend itself. I don't know how much. I've not seen them play much in a 2. I think Christensen should be able to, but again, I don't know, he's never really convinced under Sarri and stuff. But anyway, I think we can move on with that. So Chelsea, I think we're still jury is a bit out on the defense as such.
Yeah.
Okay, so now moving outside of what what's become a bit of a big four and not so much a big six
Arsenal.
nowadays.
Which one ever?
Arsenal have, I think they're close to
Acquired
signing
Ben White. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do you guys think? What do you think the defense will look like? Is this a good signing?
Probably going to
I
be
think
Ben
it's-
White and I don't know.
Gabriel.
Sir, what do you think? They'll play a back four or a back three as well? I think it's going to
As
be
in-
Gabriel and Ben White, but
Yeah, I think Arteta also wants to play a back four. I think Rahul also mentioned or alluded to that fact. I feel Gabriel and Ben White do form a decent partnership. But yeah, there are I still feel there are so many holes in that midfield that no defender can just keep on solving that issues. But anyways, I just feel that again that English tax comes in the picture in the transfer fees that are being proposed. I still don't understand why. As in, why do you have to pay extra money?
Homegrown quota, it makes a difference, right?
It's
Having
homegrown,
players who are homegrown, it makes it easier for you to register your squad and things like that. I mean, that's the only thing I've been able to think of.
But why pay so much extra money for just an English player?
I just think, English players who are good, really good, that just shows, I think they're just at a premium. Really top level English players don't come by.
Ben White, I didn't even hear his name that much.
He's really good. Liverpool wanted him. He was really good for Leeds, the Championship, and again for Brighton in the Premier League. He made that step up, I think, seamlessly almost. He's one of those modern centre backs. Yeah, I personally think he's better than Stones. He looked good for England as well when he played. I think he played in the friendly. He did play one of the games. He played in one of the games.
Yeah, when Maguire was out.
Maguire was out, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a really good centre back. So, but yeah, I mean, Arsenal as a team have so many holes in that squad, and like you said, midfield especially. So I don't know. He will definitely improve them, but we'll have to wait and see. They do have to improve.
I think one other reason for a lot of these teams like United and all going with the whole English spine or majority of the English players is because these English players wouldn't want. The chances of them leaving for a Real Madrid or a PSG or something is less. They'll probably remain. So that's one of the.
Yeah, that's true. And moving inside is hard. These teams don't usually sell to their rivals, right? So, okay. So there was a mention for Arsenal, Spurs. Dyer and Sanchez, I don't think is even a point of discussion. Although there is strong links to Christian Romero, who I personally think is a very good centre back. Copa America winner with Argentina. I remember he was really good at Anfield when Atalanta came. And in general, he's been really good for them playing in a back three. But Nuno does prefer a back three. So I think Romero, Rodon is another really promising centre back. And maybe one of Dyer or Sanchez or Alderweireld is not there. So I don't know. Spurs are a bit.
Christian Romero.
They definitely are in a lot of flux. That team is in a flux, like managers changing, personnel changing. So let's see what happens.
But I think Christian Romero, he was, I think, voted the best Italian defender last season. And that's assuming, you had the Chiellinis and all the different various centre backs out there in Italy and stuff like that. So for him to actually emerge as being one of the best, or the best rather, is something to take note of. The other thing was he used to play for Juventus. And then he got sold to Atalanta. So now that he's coming, one of the other things is that he's coming on the back of a Copa win, which Argentina did not win for so many years. So he would be bringing that sort of mentality to Spurs, which will probably be required.
Yeah, that's definitely something they could do with.
Oh God, trophy.
Yeah, that's all they want right now.
That's true.
Throwing everything at the wall to get that.
But maybe Nuno is the right man for that team right now to kind of build them up. He was able to do that with Wolves, try to rekindle their spirits in a way. So
I personally feel that Nuno was the last choice.
I think we can dedicate an entire video to their whole manager chase.
Right. They wanted so many other managers and none of them materialized. So
Spurs are a bit of
That
a
is
bank.
just.
But
But I think we
Nuno-
should probably.
Oh, just the last thing. But Nuno was on the. I mean, is on the. He found the best option because he was linked to going to Crystal Palace, and he ended up at Spurs. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a good move for him for sure.
Yeah, good move for him. Yeah.
Anyway, I think.
Oh, you forgot
especially-
Leicester.
Yeah, I think we have to mention. I think they're definitely better than probably Arsenal as well. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the table says that. So obviously,
Yeah.
and the centre back wise, yeah, definitely
So
Fofana
Soyuncu.
with another season, one season behind him, was exceptional for a teenager. He's only going to get better. And Soyuncu missed a fair chunk of the season as well. He was again one of the best centre backs in the league the season before. So Fofana Soyuncu is actually a really, really good pairing on paper.
But do you think like coming out of the Euros, like at how Turkey played, like do you think like international competitions play a role in like in starting a season and like
Not really. I think they left quite early.
Yeah.
Turkey. I think
fair enough?
it's not much of a psychological scar for me because they were just poor from back to front. I
Yeah.
don't think you can pin it on
So-
one player.
I think it is a yes and a no because I feel that Joe Hart, when he was doing very well at City, I think his England form kind of, killed his confidence in the upcoming seasons for City. And at the same time, I feel that with the preseason and everything, once you are, back with the same team at the club level and you start playing your routine game,
Mhm.
then I think you just can get back to it.
Back to
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's mostly. I don't know if there's any other teams that you want to pick out. I mean, I like the two centre backs Palace have signed. Joachim Anderson was actually one of Fulham's best players, I thought, last season, and Mark Guehi, he was a Chelsea product. He was an ever-present for Swansea in the Championship. He's another one of those modern centre backs. I think who's good on the ball and things like that. He's from the Chelsea academy, so obviously there is caliber there. So that's an interesting one for me. And another point I wanted to make is, I think all of the big four, if the Koundé deal goes through, will have a French centre back.
Centre back. That's true.
Yeah.
Konate for Liverpool, Varane for Man United, Koundé, and I know Laporte has switched nationality, but he was originally French.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he stays. So that's an interesting thing. So it just shows the embarrassment of riches France have. I mean, when the likes of
True that.
Konate and Upamecano didn't even make the squad. So it's
That's
pretty,
true.
it's ridiculous. And Zuma as well, let's not forget,
Yeah.
who may be on his way out as part of the Koundé
Yeah.
deal. So part of
That's
the
true.
French squad as well. So yeah, just
Yeah.
something, a good note to end the video on. So yeah, I mean, this was fun. Yeah, go ahead, Sheldon.
I was just going to add another thing. It just goes to show you, I mean, in the past 2 seasons, having like the great centre back partnership, eventually contributed to the league wins. You had that happened with obviously Liverpool, and then now with Man City, they got in. So I feel that every team has realized the importance of having, a really good centre back partnership to get to that.
Yeah.
So, which is why the heavy investment from practically all of the teams.
You know what they say,
so-
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Goals win games, defenses win titles.
Defenses
So
win titles,
I
yep.
think
Yeah.
that's,
I think Sir Alex Ferguson said that.
yeah. Right, and he's won a lot of titles, so he should know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess in general, it's just the front-footed style. Like, it makes it very difficult. I mean, it's a lot of things that a centre back has to do nowadays in the modern game. So that just increases the importance almost of having.
But Sheldon, to counter to your point, actually last year was the only time I have seen City have such a stable centre back partnership. Every other season we would have some or the
But
other.
then you had
No,
Vincent
you had
Kompany.
company. Yeah, you had
Exactly.
Vincent company.
So Kompany
but
was like that DVD kind of
company,
effect.
company managed that end of season stretch. I was surprised myself.
Yeah.
And in the season before that, we had Otamendi, which is like again Otamendi is very
Liability,
very-
I know. But you also played Fernandinho as a centre back from time to time,
I
which is
think for City, what worked was the goals, the number of goals we ended up scoring in the league.
Yeah. I think the
Probably,
system
yeah.
more than that. The system
Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of masked the deficiencies because you had the ball so much.
Correct.
So it's
Yeah.
just hard to. But yeah, I think
True.
1920 season teams just sort of figured that out a little bit. And yeah, obviously that was a season where you didn't have centre backs with
Yeah.
Laporte getting injured. And
Yep.
yeah, but think that's Pep has done quite well before that. All right, then this was good. So we'll probably come back with another show before the season starts. Maybe more something to do with transfers and maybe a more high-level view of what each team needs to do. So yeah, thanks for joining us. I forgot to mention the house rules at the start, so please do subscribe and like this video. We plan to come back with more now that the season is going to get underway. So we will see you next time. And until then, goodbye and take care.
See ya.